with coverage you can count on. This is News Channel 8's Good Morning Connecticut.
7:21 now on a Saturday morning. We're back to tell you how you can help summarize your dog. And when we say summarize, we mean it's, not summarize like sum them up, but get them ready for the summer season. The dog days, if you will. That's next on Good Morning Connecticut.
Very alliterative you are.
Yes. .24 now on this Saturday morning. Finally, summer is here. And if you think that the summer weather makes you hot, how about your dog? He may already be suffering. But there are some steps you can take to summarize your dog, get your dog ready for the dog days, if you will. Joining us this morning from Barkbusters, Richard and Vicki Horowitz. Nice to see you guys. And also Leo, an 8-month-old St. Bernard, who's looking pretty lazy this Saturday morning.
Which is great.
Which is just fine. All right, let's talk about the heat first, because this is something that, we complain about the heat, but we don't have a coating of fur like that, which I'm sure makes it much more difficult for a dog. What do we need to keep in mind as pet owners?
Well, one of the first things you have to keep in mind is that you don't want to keep your dog in a car for any length of time. Yeah. It could be within 15 minutes that they actually could start having severe damage from the heat. The temperature in the car rises so fast. You want to be very careful that you always have a lot of water available for them to drink, as they have a difficult time. They don't perspire the way we do.
Right. They can't let that heat out, essentially, and cool themselves off like
so the
like
water
we can.
cools them.
The water helps them do that. You mentioned not leaving your dog in the car. What about if you're going to take the dog on a little trip in the car? What kind of things do we need to keep in mind for that?
Well, you want to make sure that they have a secure place to sit, and that needs to be in the back seat of the car. The front of the car is unsafe because they can get, airbags can deploy and they can get hurt. If you get into an accident, they can get hurt as well. So you want to keep them in the back seat and tethered with some kind of a car seat, or if you don't have anything like that, at least use a seat belt and secure it to the the leash is secured to the seat belt.
I would imagine some dogs wouldn't be too fond of that being secured in a car. How do you get your dog kind of comfortable with that idea?
You try to get them accustomed to it, doing it at home, short periods of time, start off, just parked in the driveway.
Yeah.
And get them accustomed to it, and then start taking them for a ride around the block and so on.
Practice,
yeah,
training.
Practice, exactly
That's
right.
the only way to do it.
The other thing is try not to let your dog hang their head out the window. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's cute,
right.
But it's also dangerous because particles can fly up and get into their eyes or their ears, so you want to be real careful of that.
All right, what if you're going to go to the beach, go to the pond places, if you have a swimming pool in your yard? What kind of things do you need to keep in mind?
Okay, with the swimming pool, not all dogs like water. Okay, so if your dog doesn't like water, don't push it. Mm-hmm. But if they like water, put them into the pool. Don't throw them in. Put them in, and then I would guide them with a long leash so they know how to get out of the pool in the event that they ever fell in. The other important thing is, especially with the pool, make sure that the fence is closed. Mm-hmm. Just like you would take precautions with children, same thing with your dog.
It's you don't always think about it because you think dogs love to jump in the water, but you really do need to know your own dog.
That's
I guess,
correct.
Right?
Yes.
And the final thing I want to ask you about, because we have certainly seen our share already this summer of violent weather, thunderstorms. They can get your child maybe frightened. They can certainly frighten a dog.
Absolutely. And with thunderstorms, there's a lot of things that we don't realize. Our dogs anticipate a storm before it even comes.
They know.
They can change. The barometric pressure changes. You obviously see them looking out the window, and you can see changes in them. Therefore, what you want to do is if you see these kind of changes happening, you want to guide them to a place that they tend to like to be comfortable and relax in.
Yep.
So whether it's under a table, whether it's in their crate, you want to make sure that they feel safe. You also do not want to coddle your dog. What's a common thing a lot of people do, they use a high-pitched voice, they get very sympathetic, and actually what that causes your dog to get is more anxious.
They're going to freak out more.
Yes.
Vicki and Richard Horowitz, thanks so much for coming in from Barkbusters. We appreciate it. Good tips. They're online, WTNH.com, on the Good Morning Connecticut weekend section of the site. We'll take a quick break, come back with more, check on the forecast, day's top stories after the break. Stay with us.